Welcome back to AcreageTCG. My name's Jose. Have you ever asked yourself, what do these cards do and what deck can I play them in? We're going to answer that today. We are on episode 3 of our OP16 pack openings, where we read every card and I tell you what decks they fit in. Let's get started. We are opening up a double pack and 3 single packs. These 3 packs I actually got from the official One Piece store in Ohio. Very cool place. If you've never been, I suggest making the trip out there. It's actually inside of a giant international market. Very cool. These double packs are always super cool because they actually double as like a box where you can keep your cards in. So we'll start with the 2 packs from the double pack and then we'll do the Dawn at the end. As usual, we're going to keep things as a surprise and we're not going to peek. Well, maybe we'll peek just a little bit, but let's see what we got. We'll just read the cards as they come. First up, we've got Speed Jill. Speed Jill is a 4-cost, 5,000 power / attribute character with a 1,000 counter, and on play you may trash 1 character card with 8,000 power from your hand. This character gains rush and plus 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next end phase. So Speed Jill is a Whitebeard Pirates type, which means that he's definitely going to be going into Red Ace. He's not currently used in any of the top 16 decks, so kind of an outlier. Next up is Trafalgar Law. Law we actually talked about in episode 2, so we're going to skip him. Next card is Jesus Burgess, and we talked about him in episode 1. Next card is Donquixote Doflamingo. He is a 7-cost, 8,000 power, and his on play, when attacking, add up to 1 Don card from your Don deck and set it as active. He is a Don Quixote Pirates type. He would definitely go into Purple Yellow Don Quixote, and he isn't currently being run in that deck, but that's definitely where he fits in. Next up, Hollow Glacier Slash, and we talked about this in episode 2. Boa Hancock, we talked about her in episode 2. Zoro, we mentioned in episode 2. Next card is Thatch. He is an 8-cost, 8,000 power with the slash attribute with a 1k counter. If you have a character with 8,000 power or more, and a type including Whitebeard Pirates, give this card in your hand -3 cost, and he's a blocker. Being a Whitebeard Pirates type, Thatch would definitely be used in OP16 Red Ace, although he does show up in some of the lists, some of the deck lists for that leader. He isn't really played too much, usually only maybe like 1 or 2 as a kind of emergency blocker. Plus, he does have that -3 cost, so you're able to play him out on 5 Dawn, so you might be able to use him near the end in case you need an extra blocker. But the 8,000 power does let you also give him rush using Red Ace's ability. So you can kind of use him either defensively or you can make him rush offensively. Our next card is Kouzuki Momonosuke. He's a 5-cost, 2k counter with 0 attack, but he is 100% 4 of in Black Yamato. He's used with the other Momonosuke card because his activate main is you may trash this character with a cost of 20 or more. If you have 9 or more Don cards on your field, play up to 1 Kouzuki Momonosuke with a cost of 9 from your trash. So you would activate his main and trash him once he has a cost of 20 or more, and that lets you cheat out the 9-cost Momonosuke from your trash. Black Yamato, of course, plays characters out of her trash and then gives them rush. Definitely need to have that 9-cost Momonosuke in your trash in order to play this out. And if you don't use him, he's also a 2k. Sengoku is our next card, and we talked all about him in episode 2. Next up is Mr. 2 Bon Kurei. So this is a 2-cost, 1,000 power strike attribute, and on play you draw a card. Super powerful ability. Any card that lets you draw more cards, extremely useful. And Don ×1, so when you give him a Don, when attacking, this character's base power becomes the same as your opponent's leader's power during this turn. This card is a 100% 4 of run in Blue-Green Luffy. You could probably use him in the Blue Buggy deck as well. But again, you know, Blue Buggy isn't really in the meta right now. This card is pretty special because you can counter some of the other characters that buff your opponent's leader. So, you know, you've got that Red Zoro that makes the opponent's leader 7k for the turn. You give this character a Don, and now he becomes a 7k plus that Don. So now he's an 8k. So you can still attack your opponent even when they're buffed. We've got Nami here. So Nami is a 1-cost, 2,000 power with a 1k counter, and her on play is if your leader has the Land of Wano type, look at 4 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Land of Wano type card other than Nami and add it to your hand, then trash the rest. So this card being a Land of Wano card, Straw Hat Crew type, you would play this for Black Yamato. This is one of your searchers in the deck and definitely 100% 4 of in that deck. Very playable card in Black Yamato. All right, let's open up our next pack. First card in that pack is Dracul Mihawk, which we did talk about in episode 2. Next up is Arlong, and Arlong we did talk about in episode 2. Then we've got Morley, which again, episode 2. Ramba is our next card, and we talked about him in episode 2. Okay, our first card from this pack that we haven't seen already. This is a 9-cost event, and the activate main is you may play up to 2 character cards with the type, including Whitebeard Pirates, and 8,000 power from your hand. With the trigger, your leader gains 1,000 power during this turn. This event is called Let's Show 'em What We're Made Of, and it's a Whitebeard Pirates card. This will definitely be used in OP16 Red Ace, seeing as how it is a Whitebeard Pirates card. You could probably run this in Red Blue Ace as well, but it's not really appearing in any competitive deck, so another one of these outlier cards that might be useful in the future. Who knows? We'll see what OP17 brings. Magellan, we spoke about in episode 2. Next up is McGuy. So he's a 6-cost 8,000 power with the slash attribute. And his on KO is KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 8,000 base power or less. So this character is pretty cool because you're able to play him out and you can attack with 8,000 power. And you get to take out one of your opponent's characters as well. And he is a Whitebeard Pirates ally, which would make him definitely be useful in the OP16 Red Ace, but he doesn't appear in any of the tracked lists and limit lists for that. Okay, we've got our 1-cost event. I've come here to cut these chains. Activate main, you may rest 6 of your Dawn cards, trash 5 cards from the top of your deck, and then play up to 1 Land of Wano type character card with the cost of 6 or less from your trash. Counter, your leader gains 3,000 power during this battle. So this card, clearly, as you can see from the picture, is for Black Yamato. And this is definitely a event that you would run in that deck. It's very important because you're able to trash cards, which is what you need. You want your best cards in your trash so that you can play them out of your trash, and Yamato can use her ability with them. All right, Josu we spoke about in episode 1. And here's our next Momonosuke card. So this is the card that you use in conjunction with the other one that we talked about. This is a 9-cost 6,000 power character with a 1k counter, and he is a blocker, and on play up to 1 Land of Wano type character card with a cost of 6 or less other than Kouzuki Momonosuke from your trash. So basically, you trash the other Momonosuke, you get to cheat this one out, and then the on play, you play another character with the cost of 6 or less. Really, what you're going to want to be doing is you're going to play this out, then you're going to play that 6-cost Yamato that you can give rush to, then trash that character for another high-powered Yamato. So that's the play with this, and this is definitely 100% a 4 of in Black Yamato. Next up, we've got Kuzan, so one of the admirals here. So Kuzan is a 7-cost 8,000 power, and his on play is add up to 2 Dawn cards from your Dawn deck and rest them. Activate main once per turn, Dawn -1, up to one of your opponent's characters cannot activate blocker during this turn. So this is one of the 3 admirals that you're going to be using for the Sengoku deck. In case you don't remember, Sengoku's ability is he gets to play out all 3 admirals all at once, and all of their on plays activate and all of their special abilities activate. When you play him, you get 2 Dawn back. They get rested, but at least you get them back because you are giving up 8 Dawn once you use that ability. And then you can return an extra one of those Dawns to disable a blocker from your opponent. So very cool card, extremely useful. This is one of the endgame cards for Purple Sengoku. I've seen lists run this at 4 of, and I've seen lists run this at 3, because usually what ends up happening is you run 4 of one admiral, 4 of the other admiral, and then 3 of the last one, depending on which admiral you like the most. Which admirals you like the most, you end up keeping 4 of those, and then you just use the 3rd one of the other one. And the last card is a Dawn here. So let's open up our next pack. All right, our first card is Shimotsuki Ushimaru. So he's a 2-cost 2,000 power slash attribute with a 1k counter, and he is just a simple blocker. Being a Land of Wano character and a black color card, he basically goes into Black Yamato. So he usually appears as 2 copies, just as an extra blocker and an extra 1k if you need it. Arlong we already spoke about is in episode 2. Trafalgar Law is in episode 2. Then we've got Jinbe. So Jinbe is a 5-cost 6,000 power character with a 2k counter. He's just a vanilla card, as they call them. He's got no special effect. He is a Fishman, Impel Down, and Sun Pirate type. So he would definitely be used either for Blue-Green Luffy or for Blue Buggy. Basically just a 2k counter, but he's not really used in Blue-Green Luffy or Blue Buggy. Ramba is in episode 2. Mr. 3 Galdino, episode 2. Alright, our next card is a 2-cost, 3,000 power Hannibal. On play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Impel Down type card, and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is basically just a purple searcher. You could definitely use him in Purple Sengoku, but he's not really used in any purple deck right now. Usopp is in episode 2. Purple Sengoku, one of the leaders. He is also in episode 2. Bunkov in episode 2. Alright, our next card is Vasco Shot. He's a 1-cost, 2,000 power with a 1k counter. And on KO, draw 1 card and rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less. So, with the trigger, activate this card's on KO effect. So you play this from your life, you get to use his on KO effect, you get to draw a card, and then you rest one of your opponent's cards. Very cool trigger, because once he gets KO'd, you're able to set up one of your other characters to attack one of your opponent's characters. This is definitely 100% a 4 of in Black Yellow Teach, and definitely a very playable card. You want to use Teach's ability to direct an attack to him, so you KO him, and then you get to draw the card, and then you get to rest one of your opponent's characters. The last card in this deck is Ben Beckman, and we spoke about him in episode 2. All right, next pack. Alright, we've got Younger Brother Marine. He is a 2k counter, 5-cost, 6,000 power. Younger Brother Marine is definitely used in Purple Sengoku, mostly just as a 2k counter, as you don't really want to waste the Dawn to play him out. And you've got other 5-cost cards that are more important to play. Next up, we've got Portgas D Ace. He is a 3-cost, 0 power with a 1k counter, and his activate main is you may rest this character, draw 1 card. So this card is very cool because every single turn you can rest him and then you can draw a card. Once again, any card that lets you draw cards, extremely powerful because you need cards to play. So he is an Impel Down Whitebeard Pirates type. You can definitely use him in Blue-Green Luffy or Blue Buggy, maybe even Red-Blue Ace you could, but he's not really used in any competitive decks right now. Who knows in the future? Alright, Squad we talked about in episode 1. Our next card is Older Brother Marine. Older Brother Marine is a 5-cost, 7,000 power with the 1k counter and a vanilla character. Once again, he would definitely be used for Sengoku, being a Navy type, so you can search for him, but he is just a 1k counter, not really used in Purple Sengoku because he's just a vanilla character with a 1k counter. There's a lot better cards to use for that deck. Then we've got Tony Chopper. So Tony Chopper is a 3-cost, 4,000 power with the 1k counter, and his on play is draw 2 cards and trash 2 cards from your hand, then KO up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 1 or less. This being a Land of Wano type character, you would most likely run this with Black Yamato, but not currently used in Black Yamato. With him being a Straw Hat Crew type, maybe somebody might use him for OP17 Luffy leader, possible. Magellan we spoke about in episode 2. Hollowed Glacier Slash, episode 2. Black Vortex, this is a 1-cost with the main. If your leader has the Blackbeard Pirates type, add up to 1 card with a trigger other than Black Vortex from your trash to your hand. With the trigger, negate the effect of up to one of your opponent's leader or character cards during this turn. This card, extremely powerful coming out of life, because this will let you turn off any effect from your opponent's leader. The trigger is very good, but unfortunately this really isn't run in any competitive Black Yellow Teach decks, simply because Zehaha is a much better card. Then we've got Buggy. Buggy is a 4-cost, 5,000 power slash attribute with the 1k counter. Play up to 1 Prisoner of Impel Down card from your hand. Being green, this card definitely would go into Blue-Green Luffy, although isn't really used in any of the Blue-Green Luffy decks. But who knows how the meta might play out for any green decks coming up. When you KO this character, you play up to 1 Prisoner of Impel Down. So, Blue-Green Luffy, typically you see that they run like a good 8 or 9 of those cards. So if you were to use this in that deck, that's kind of the synergy there. But unfortunately, nobody really runs it in Blue-Green Luffy right now. So kind of an outlying card. Then we've got Inazuma. So Inazuma is a 2-cost, 1,000 power with a 1k counter. When this character is KO'd by your opponent's effect, rest up to one of your opponent's character, and he's a blocker. Basically, if this card gets KO'd by an effect, you get to rest any of your opponent's characters, no matter how powerful they are. So kind of useful, but He's not really used in any of the competitive decks right now. Being an Impel Down green card basically really only goes in blue-green Luffy. All right, our next Admiral. So this is Borsalino, and Borsalino is a 7-cost, 8,000 power character. With his on-play is add up to 1 Don card from your Don deck and set it as active, and add up to 1 additional Don card and rest it. At the end of your turn, you get to return 2 Don, and then you can set this character as active. Then this character gains blocker until the end of your opponent's next end phase. This card is super cool, very powerful for the late game, because you're going to play this out using Sengoku's ability along with the other 2 admirals. As soon as you play this out, if you have the Don available, you can use this as a blocker, or on your next turn, you attack, he becomes rested, and then you return those 2 Don, he becomes active again, and he becomes a blocker. What you want to do is you don't want to waste the Don as soon as you play him out, because generally you're still going to have maybe 2 or 3 life, so you can kind of take a life and then set him up for your next turn, where basically you attack, he becomes rested, and then you return those 2 Don, and then you're able to set him as active, and he becomes a blocker. Pretty powerful blocker because he's an 8k character, and then you can do this every single turn because you're always going to get 2 Don back. Even if you return all your Don using all your other admirals, on your next turn, you will get 2 Don back, so you're always going to be able to use him as a blocker. Our last card from this pack is Trafalgar Law, and he is an 8-cost, 9,000 power / attribute character. With his on play, up to 1 of your opponent's rested characters will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. And at the end of your turn, set all of your green characters with the cost of 5 or less as active. So very cool. This card lets you freeze 1 of your opponent's characters, and then at the end of the turn, you set all your 5 costs and lower active. So pretty cool. This can definitely go into like Green Mihawk, or maybe even as kind of like a crazy outlier for blue-green Luffy, seeing as how, you know, most of his cards are under 5 cost. So kind of cool. A 6-cost, 7,000 power with a 2k counter, just a vanilla character, Smoker. So Smoker could definitely be used in blue-green Luffy, or basically any of the green decks, but he doesn't really have a home right now, and he really isn't used in any competitive deck right now. Next up is Boa Sandersonia. So this is a 4-cost, 5,000 power character who is a blocker, and with a trigger, if you have 2 or less life cards, play this card. Being a Kuja Pirates type, would definitely be used for blue-yellow Hancock. Generally, you see 1 or 2 copies of this in several decks. Zoro is in episode 2. Next up, we've got Gum Gum Twin Jet Pistol, and this is a 1-cost with the main. Up to 1 of your Monkey D. Luffy cards gains double attack during this turn. Then, if your leader has the Impel Down type, rest up to 2 of your opponent's characters with the cost of 3 or less. It also has a trigger, rest your opponent's leader. That is a very cool trigger. You're able to basically stop your opponent from attacking you this turn. This being an Impel Down and Straw Hat Crew type card, definitely goes into blue-green Luffy, although this really isn't run in any current blue-green Luffy decks right now. Benevolent King of the Waves, a 3-cost, 5,000 power character. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand, add up to 1 Don card from your Don deck, and rest it. On KO, add up to 1 Don card from your Don deck and rest it. So this character being a purple navy type, definitely you could use in Purple Sengoku, maybe even purple yellow Rosinante, but he seems to really fit more for Sengoku, although really is not used in any current Sengoku deck, simply because in the early stages you're searching, you need to get all 3 of your admirals, and you don't want to trash cards unless you really need it, although this does let you ramp Don, so it's kind of a trade-off. Miss Olive. So this is an interesting card. 5-cost, 6,000 power with a 1k counter. She's a blocker, but her on-play is you may return 1 of your characters with a cost of 2 or more to the owner's hand. Draw 2 cards and trash 1 card from your hand. Very cool card. Is a Impel Down type, so you could use this in blue-green Luffy, or you can use this in blue Buggy. You use this card to keep one of your other attackers safe. So for example, you've got this 2-cost Mr. 2. You can attack with this card, and then on the opponent's turn, this card is rested and very vulnerable to be KO'd because he's just 1000 power. But you attack with this first, and then you use Miss Olive to return this back to your hand, thus keeping him safe. You play him out in your next turn. All right, our next card is Marshall D. Teach. So this is one of our leaders for this set, and he is a 5000 power 4-life leader. And on opponent's turn, all of your characters gain +1 cost. So you know that kind of helps with some of the cost abilities. And then on your opponent's attack once per turn, you may trash 1 card with a trigger from your hand, change the target of that attack to this leader or one of your Blackbeard Pirates type character card. So the whole game plan with Black Yellow Teach is to redirect an attack in order to get the most utility out of either you're saving one of your important characters by taking a life, or you're redirecting that attack and KOing one of your characters in order to use their on-KO ability. So Teach is definitely one of the top leaders in the current meta. I think he's maybe 4th or 5th, but very good leader, and a lot of people are having a lot of fun playing it. Our next card is Vasco Shot. So this card is a 1-cost 2000 power with a 1k counter, and on KO, draw 1 card and rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less. With a trigger, activate this card's on KO effect. So this being impelled down, Blackbeard Pirate definitely is used for Teach. 100% a 4 of in that deck. Very useful because you play this out and then you redirect an attack right to him. With being a 1-cost, you're going to use him very early on, and you're able to rest one of your 6-cost or less opponent's characters, setting him up to be attacked by one of your characters. Next up, we've got Nico Robin. Nico Robin we spoke about in episode 2. Ben Beckman we spoke about in episode 2. Our last card is Moby Dick. This is a very useful card, very meta relevant right now. 1 cost, on play, if your leader has the Whitebeard Pirates type, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck and add up to 1 card to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. With the activate main, you may trash this stage, give up to 1 of your rested down cards to your leader or one of your characters. Now, this card is extremely useful. Definitely ran 4 of in the OP16 Red Ace. You can run it in Red Blue Ace, and you could even in Red Green Luffy, and also the Red Green Luffy ST30 deck makes really good use of this too. All right, now as promised, our last pack is actually the Dawn from the double pack set, and you might notice it is open already. We unfortunately had a little technical glitch there and we had to redo this section of the video, but here it is, and we've got this very cool Dawn. Look at how it reflects there. Very cool. I like that a lot, actually. It's very beautiful. And this definitely kind of like all the impel down characters in here. We've got Magellan's Poison. We've got the Wax right here, and then we also have some of the stuff for Mr. 2. Very nice Dawn card there. All right, so that's it for this episode. These are all of our rares and higher up rarity cards. We didn't really get any kind of high rarity card in these 4 packs, but hopefully what we're doing here, we're able to kind of help new players out, kind of figure out, hey, where does this card go? Some different ideas of where you can play it. And if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. One small click from you means the world to us. Thank you for watching. We love you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.